It won't be like you're not a part of Facebook. You're not a part of Facebook.
My name's on the masthead.
You might want to check again.
Oh, if you already know the answers to your questions, then why ask?
What's the most you ever lost an acquaintance?
I like the way you die, boy.
I don't want to be a product of my environment.
Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging?
My boy's awake at smile.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Film Fixation podcast. We're here for episode 2, where we will dive into the Oscars, Scream 6, and 65. My name's Jaren Allred. I'm joined here by my friends Austin Hyatt and Spencer Silva.
Hello.
Hello.
So why don't we get into some film news real quick? Austin, do you have that for us?
Yeah, the only thing I've got is a new film from Quentin Tarantino, his final film. I think he said he's finished writing. It's going to be called The Film Critic. It's going to follow a female protagonist, and it's going to be set in the 1970s. So that's exciting. He's one of my favorite directors, one of your guys' favorite directors, I think.
Yep, he definitely is. That is very exciting. That's his 10th and final film. It's too bad he's only making 10, but...
you think he'll change his mind? Or has that been his roadmap from the beginning?
I hope so.
10.
It seems like that's always what he said, is he's going to make 10. He didn't want to make another one after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because he said that was the one he's most proud of, I think, and he wanted to go out on a really good one. So he must be pretty confident in this new one that's coming out. So
yeah.
It should be exciting.
Yeah, that's real good.
Yep. So why don't we get into the the Oscars? I'm trying not to say for you guys. I realize I said it a lot on episode 1. So we're going to try not to. The Oscars 2023. Okay. We're going to talk about the winners real quick and what we thought of those winners and their performances. So let's take a look. At who won. So let's see. Best Picture was Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the nominees for that were Top Gun Maverick, Women Talking, Triangle of Sadness, All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, Tar, Avatar, The Fabelmans, and The Banshees of Inisherin. So do you guys agree with this? Do you think this one should have won?
I actually never saw everything everywhere all at once. So I'm a
Really?
I'm a fakie. So I don't know. The thing is everyone hyped it up a lot, so that's why I'm scared to watch it. But I need to watch it.
Yeah, Austin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it definitely deserves Best Picture. I don't necessarily think it was the best made film, but I think it had like the best story around it. You know, one thing that I thought about a lot when the hype was around it was we're all fans of like Rick and Morty and Marvel, right? So like themes like this, like interdimensional travel and like multiverse, it's pretty familiar to us. And the type of like body humor and everything that was in this film is kind of maybe getting old on us, but it was something really new and really good for Hollywood. So I think that's why it was my Best Picture,
Yeah, I think they got it right. It's not the it's not the film that I enjoy the most out of these. I think it is the most well made, in my opinion. Also, I think Top Gun Maverick, there could be a case, and maybe Banshees of Inisherin, just because Top Gun's just so fun. And I think when we look back at who won this year, like 20 years from now, maybe we could be saying like Top Gun Maverick aged a little bit better than Everything Everywhere All at Once. And a lot of people are saying the Banshees of Inisherin is a masterpiece. I didn't think so. I gave it, I think, 3.5 stars. It's kind of just Colin Farrell and his buddy having a spat and using funny Irish words, which, that's beautiful in itself. But
right.
I don't think it's a masterpiece like most people are making out to be.
I think watched Triangle of Sadness, right? Was it?
Yeah, and I also watched that. That one's not. That was also, I think, a 3-star. It was okay. It had lots of social commentary, but the last act, it kind of turned into something completely different than the rest of the movie. It was a stranded on an island sort of movie when it was more slick and a lot better crafted in the first 2 parts of it. So yeah, I think that
real quick. I also watched All Quiet on the Western Front yesterday. That I don't even think that should have been in the running. You know, like it was beautiful. Cinematography was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But that won a ton of awards, and I'm like sitting there wondering why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I also saw Elvis last year. Fabelmans was one of my least favorite movies from last year.
Yeah.
Like, did you see it?
No, because I mean, you said it wasn't that good, so I didn't want to.
I mean, dude, just the acting, the characters were written so in such a Spielberg way. I know Spielberg is one of the greatest directors, one of the greatest producers, especially Hollywood has ever seen.
Yeah.
But he writes people in a certain way, and you could tell he was writing them through his own nostalgia lens. It just didn't hit for me. I didn't understand all the hype around that at all.
Yeah. I tried to watch Tar like a week ago. It was so boring. I don't know. I'm not pretentious enough to appreciate that.
Maybe we sound too pretentious because all of these Best Picture nominees were given like 3s.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's Tar even about? I've never even heard of that one.
It's they compare it to Whiplash, which is ridiculous. She's just this grumpy teacher. She's not Fletcher. She's no J.K. Simmons. And she gets mad at her students or whatever. And that's it. I don't know. I turned it off. It wasn't that good. It was just boring.
Is it music like related? She's a music teacher, or is she just a teacher?
She's a composer.
Yes.
She's a composer.
Okay.
And she teaches a class at, it's not Juilliard, but it's some like prestigious music place or whatever. So yeah. All right. Let's get into Best Actor, which the nominees were Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Austin Butler, Elvis, Colin Farrell, The Banshees of Inisherin, Paul Mescal, Aftersun, and Bill Nye, Living.
Yeah.
So Brendan Fraser won, and I'm very happy for him. I think that's awesome. I think
you loved The Whale, didn't you?
Well, I watched The Whale 2 days ago, and I just thought it was horrible. It was Brendan Fraser. He's a bigger guy. I'm not gonna fat shame him or whatever. He's a bigger guy. He's called The Whale, and he's an English teacher. And the whole film takes place in his living room, and he just eats chicken, and a missionary visits him, and he just drops shit, and he can't pick it up, and he breathes real heavy. He has like 5 heart attacks, and everybody's really mean to him, you know, and he just gets really emotional the whole movie. A brilliant performance, right? But I think it was a good performance in a bad movie. So I have no problem with him winning Best Actor. So
who else would you have liked to win that?
Colin Farrell, I think he did a good job in The Banshees of Inisherin. The other ones I have not seen.
You didn't see Elvis or Aftersun?
No.
Or Living?
I didn't see those. I didn't even know what Living was.
Living is just from what it seemed like, a shot-for-shot remake of Ikiru by Akira Kurosawa. You know that movie we watched? Ikiru? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Ikiru. Yeah. We all watched it together in my basement. That
Okay, I remember
black
that.
and white Japanese movie from the 50s.
The one we
Yeah.
didn't finish?
I finished it after that. Fantastic movie.
Really?
Really?
It's
Came
in
around?
Letterboxd's top 100. It's a great film, and I'm sure this Living was great, but it just seemed
Not
pretty
as good.
unimaginative. Yeah.
I think if we didn't get distracted, we would have watched the original. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good.
It's long, it's hefty, 2.5 hours, but it's worth it.
Yeah. I'll do it
Our
back and
friend
watch
Zach said After Sun was like a life-changing movie, and most of the people I follow on TikTok and Letterboxd, they loved After Sun. I don't know how Paul Mescal did in that necessarily, if it was him who carried, but I thought it should have gone to Austin Butler, because I know a lot of people didn't love Elvis, but his performance, dude, insane.
Really?
And he still talks like him, like dude's that dedicated. Give him the award.
You don't think it's for show? You think he's stuck?
I think it was him campaigning for this award. I think he's going to stop now. He's going to snap right back to it. Just
I can't say anything because I didn't see it. So.
Yeah, I really don't know what he sounded like before, but you should see it. I know you don't like Baz Luhrmann. I love Baz Luhrmann, but it was great. I mean, it was a little lengthy. Anyway, his performance was fantastic. He definitely should have won that over our boy.
What did you see The Well?
I didn't. Yeah, so I can't really
Okay.
speak to that. But I trust your opinion.
I mean, everybody loves Brendan Fraser. He's making a comeback. So
Right. I'm happy for him. I'm glad. He was in the Looney Tunes movie when I was a kid. Loved him. He's hot as hell in that. He's one of my childhood heroes. Right.
Those were great.
But it's like, if you can embody like one of the greatest performers of all time and do it in this amazing, spectacular role, or you can play a fat guy in your living room.
Yeah.
I think we just need to kind of evaluate it that way. Nothing personal. No,
that makes sense.
Anything, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I think that sums that up. Let's get into Best Actress. Nominees were Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
For Everything Everywhere All at Once. Kate Blanchett for Tar. Ana de Armas, Blonde. Michelle Williams, The Fablemans. And Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie. So I think probably got it right again, I'd say. A lot of people, I think, thought Kate Blanchett was going to win it for Tar.
Yeah, she was the heavy favorite.
Yeah. But I'm glad Michelle got it. She was great, Tar kind of put me to sleep, so wasn't really anything special there. And
Michelle Yeoh was fantastic.
Was Michelle Williams, was she good in The Fablemans? I heard she was good.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe I was just having a bad day. Like, she was the worst part of the movie for me.
Oh, really?
And I like Michelle Williams in, every role she's been in.
Yeah.
But so she plays Paul Dano's wife.
Okay.
In it. And they're both insufferable, man. They're like Steven Spielberg's parents. And I love Paul Dano. I love Michelle Williams, but their characters are just not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that makes sense. Jeez. I think there should have been it's not on my list here, but the girl from I guess she was Best Supporting Actress. Never mind. So Ana de Armas and Blonde. I didn't finish that movie.
You didn't even start it,
My
did you?
Netflix account got locked.
I thought you never even watched it because it was NC-17.
I didn't even know.
You didn't even try.
I don't even know how I didn't watch it. It was the whole thing was weird. So yeah.
Gross.
So she acts. I heard from you, and other people,
from me because I saw it. Yeah,
that she acts a lot in that movie, but it's pretty distasteful, the premise of the film. So
yeah, that's what I'd heard.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into Best Original Song. I don't even know any of this. Best International Film, All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yeah.
I think that was good. Yeah, they got it right. Best Supporting Actor, Ki Wei Kwan won for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And I don't think Brendan Gleeson, he was nominated. He could have maybe got it. I don't think anybody else really stood a chance. But Kiwi Kwan, he was always going to win it. I feel like everybody knew that.
Yeah, that was
another comeback story, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody was taking that from him. So
I kind of felt bad for that Judd Hirsch guy, the like 80-year-old dude.
Oh, really? Because he won't get another chance?
Yeah, like he's, dead pretty much.
Oh, he died?
No, he didn't die. He was there. I mean, maybe he's dead now. It's been a couple days, but
okay.
I feel bad that he won't get another chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was in that movie. He was in The Fabelmans for like 3 minutes. I don't even know how you get a nomination for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that takes us into Best Supporting Actress. Jamie Lee Curtis won, and I feel like she was barely in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
So
I really didn't understand that. And, the Oscars is always like that, where it's not necessarily the role that you're in that you win it for, but it's like your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it was more that than anything. Because to beat Angela Bassett was the favorite. And I get that they don't really give it to Marvel movies as much, But yeah, she wasn't even in Wakanda Forever that much.
Yeah, and that movie sucked. That was a horrible movie.
Yeah, I think it should have gone to Stephanie, the gal from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Really? I think it should have gone to Carrie Condon. She was one of the best parts of the Banshees of Inisherin for me when I watched it. Yeah, she's spectacular in that.
Okay, it's okay to disagree. We're okay.
I'd prefer it, more to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. Best Director, Daniel Kwan, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Daniel Scheinert. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's fair. It's whatever. Best Animated Feature, Pinocchio won. I think Puss in Boots should have won.
Man, I don't know.
You watched Puss in Boots?
I didn't see Puss in Boots, but did you see Pinocchio?
I saw some of it. I turned it off.
Dude, it was, I mean, I don't want to overhype it, but I think I gave it like 4.5 stars. I loved that movie.
Really?
Like the voice, they've got Christoph Waltz is one of the voice actors.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor,
Mm-hmm.
They just had a great, Kate Blanchett is a monkey in it.
Yeah.
For like 2 seconds. They had a great cast, and I think it was just, when you can tell a familiar story like that, and make it that good, I think that's good for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was very original. Puss in Boots, I gave that 4.5. I think that one is very mature beyond its years. Way better than it should have been. For Puss in Boots, it's the third one in the Puss in Boots franchise, I guess.
Right.
So it was spectacular. Best score, All Quiet on the Western Front. I know you have some qualms with this. I think we both think Babylon should have won.
Yeah, we're huge Damien Chazelle fans, and just had so much more depth and character. Like, I put this in my review on Letterboxd, but All Quiet on the Western Front was 3 notes. Like, that was the only music, was the same 3 notes.
Yeah.
And like every time they won an award, you heard it played over the loudspeaker.
Mm-hmm.
That was their whole score, which is, I mean, it sounds cool.
That's stupid, though.
Great, but crazy.
If you're going to give a best score to something that was barely a score, you should give it to the Batman.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they weren't nominated.
I know, dude. That was the real snub. And we complained a lot about Babylon, but the Batman.
Yeah, that was my favorite film of 2022.
Mine too.
March
my
4th.
Top film.
March 4th.
Didn't get any better. That was the peak. March 4th was the day you changed forever, Jaren.
Honestly. I saw that movie. It was raining. I got out of the theater. and I was just a different guy. I wore a Batman mask that we got from Walmart for the next like 3 days.
To the gym.
I didn't take it
I
off.
was working out in the gym.
I was
Those are funny pictures.
there, but it was awesome. I also turned off all the power. We went over to our friend's house. And there's like 10 people there, and I turned off the power, and I was scaring everybody, and I was hiding, and I was playing the what's the song? Something in the Way, Nirvana.
Something in the way.
It was awesome. I scared the crap out of Spencer's fiance.
She screamed bloody murder.
It was awesome. The best night of my life. Okay, sweet. That should be all we should get into for the Oscars. We're taking up
Yeah, those are the major ones.
a lot of time here. So let's get into Scream 6, why don't we?
Let's do it, dude.
Austin and I saw this together this weekend. We both thought it was incredible. Actually,
And I want to note, we bought a ticket for our friend Spencer. You know, we had this idea as a podcast to go together, see it all together, see every movie that comes out, and Spencer's just really not committed. I want everybody to know that. So,
Look, man. No, well, hold on. Let me kind of defend
go ahead,
myself.
Jaren. Sorry. No, let's hear it, Spencer.
I forgot my
Let's hear
nephew's
it. Yeah.
birthday party was that day, and I didn't realize my sister was working and that she was going to drop
Great
her
parenting.
nephew off, and my brother dropped his nephew off, so my mom had 2 nephews, and she was baking the cake, and Ellie was going to help him, and I felt bad just leaving her there. And you know what? You can blame Ellie is what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Okay, I'll text her right
You
now.
blame your nephew. How long have you known that kid?
No, 1 year.
Yeah,
It was
like
his
4
1 year
years
birthday.
tops. 1 year?
That's crazy, bro. You've known us like
Insane.
10 years,
I'm not
man.
proud of it.
10 plus. Crazy. Yeah, you shouldn't be. Jeez.
Well,
Well, I
you
want to
missed
hear
out.
from you guys.
You missed out.
I'll be a little entertainer.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we really enjoyed it. We enjoyed it.
Yep. Let me give a quick little synopsis of it. So it says 4 survivors of the Ghostface murders leave Woodsboro behind for a fresh start in New York City. However, they soon find themselves in a fight for their lives when a new killer embarks on a bloody rampage. This film is directed by Matt Bettinelli Olfin and Tyler Gillette. It is starring Melissa Barrera, Jen Ortega, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, Courtney Cox, and Hayden Panettiere. The reviews are pretty steady. They're looking pretty good. It's sitting at a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes critic score and a 92% audience score. Wow, which is very good. IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. And on IMDb, it's got a 7.4 out of 10. Letterboxd is sitting at a 3.9 average. And Austin and I both gave it 3.5 stars. The budget and box office, it had a $35 million budget. On its opening weekend, it garnered $44.5 million domestically and earned a global total of $67 million. This opening is the biggest opening weekend for a Scream film by far. The next closest would be Scream 3, which got $34.7 million. And Scream 6 is on pace to be the highest grossing film of the franchise, which is currently the original Scream, which brought in $173 million total. So
a slasher released in March. That's great. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's doing pretty well. Pretty well. So let's get into it. What do we think? Why do we give it 3.5? Austin, what were your thoughts?
Well, let me just start by saying the previous installment, Scream 5, that came out last year, I just saw it a day or two before we saw this one for the first time. And I gave that 4 stars.
Okay.
That's a great movie. I gave this one 3.5. I really, really liked it. Still had like the same fun energy from the original cast, or from the revamped cast. And I really liked the new setting, New York City, getting out of Woodsboro, a whole new, dynamic between them and this Scream killer that they, at this point in the franchise, Scream is really popular for being like meta and understanding itself,
Yeah.
and addressing that. And at this point, getting out of Woodsboro is like the next natural step. And so I think that was really good to try that formula in a new place. I think it was time. So I really liked it.
Yeah. I think that was a smart move. The Friday the 13th franchise did the same thing. They sent Jason to New York. It's called Jason Takes Manhattan. And that's a fan favorite. I think it's got a cult following. A lot of people liked that one. So this one was inspired a little bit by that one. So opening scene, what do you think of that? We got to see Samara Weaving.
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
we loved it. I mean,
that was so great. Did you know? Samara Weaving had a license to carry?
What was she carrying?
She's had some recoil.
Not to be too crass, but she's like in this really tight yellow dress, beautiful, and she like steps off a curb or like into the street, and Jaren turns over to me and he goes, "Do you see that recoil?"
I was just thinking that.
I was just thinking that. No, she was great. I wish she was in it for longer.
I know.
What can I say?
It was
spoiler alert.
I had no idea she was in this, and I was excited right off the bat when I saw her. But I was like, "Oh no, she's in the opening. This is
Yep." She answered the phone in the opening.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Wasn't looking too good for her, but she did spectacular. I loved her. I thought this was one of the best openings.
Oh yeah,
by far.
so cool.
I watched all 6 of the Scream films this past week just for you guys, just so I could have some credentials to talk about all of them and my rankings and stuff. But this one was it was so good. I just love Samara Weaving. She's one of my favorite actresses, and I think this captured a lot of the thoughts that people had when they saw the original. Drew Barrymore. A lot of people thought she was going to star in that movie. She was in like all of the marketing campaigns, and they showed that scene of her in the trailer. And when she died right off the bat, everybody was so surprised, and it just kicked off the film in a spectacular way. You didn't know if anybody was safe during the whole movie, and that's how this one felt too.
Yeah.
So
I also loved the way it just sets the tone. The original starts off, this girl alone at home gets a phone call, and like immediately you're scared because we know she's alone. We know anything can happen, and that tension builds as like Ghostface keeps talking to her on the phone, whatever. This one, she's not alone. She's like in a crowded restaurant. And so it just is a totally different dynamic where what we're getting used to with Scream has totally flipped on its head. It's not the girl alone at home. It's the girl who's out in public. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was really cool.
And they also flipped it where Ghostface reveals himself.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Immediately.
And then he becomes the victim of the next Ghostface, which I thought was incredible. Tony Earl Laurie is the first ghost character. And we're familiar with him. He's in Spider-Man, Homecoming, all those films. He's in Grand Budapest Hotel. He's a great actor. He's very annoying in Spider-Man. But that's not his fault. It's the writing and the direction of those films. But I won't get into that. Not a big fan, but it's whatever.
Not a big fan of John Watts?
No, I'm not. Not very much. It's okay.
Okay, man. Well, he's
was
got
a big fan of
Star Wars
Spider-Man.
project, so watch.
Does he really?
Yeah, Skeleton Crew is what it's called. It's gonna be.
Great. It's animated. That's okay. I won't watch it.
No, I don't think it is, but it'll be great. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Let's hope so.
This isn't about John Watts.
So yeah, beginning, we got into that. We thought it was incredible. Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega were incredible during this movie. They gave Jenna Ortega more of a leading lady role. It's kind of the two of them now instead of kind of Marissa Barrera, and Jenna Ortega was more of a side character in the first one. But she's really popped off this past couple years. She's got Wednesday, some other films. What else is she in? She was in You, that Netflix series, and she was in something else big.
It seemed like she was in everything. Let me see. I'll check.
Yeah, I'm seeing her all over TikTok and everything.
Yeah, it's because people get obsessed super quick. And she was in X and Pearl, I think, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the Fallout.
I think she was in
that
X.
came out recently.
Was she in Pearl too?
Okay, she's not in Pearl. You're right. She was in X.
X. Okay.
Oh, and we also found out she's in Iron Man 3. Remember that? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of who she was, but that's crazy.
But anyway, yeah, the Fallout, X, Wednesday, and this, and the previous Scream. She's got a ton of work right now. It's great.
Yep, she's doing incredible. Every boy's obsessed with her right now on TikTok. So,
not me,
not you. I bought into the hype a little bit after this movie.
I know you were telling me that. Yeah.
No,
I think she's cute, but she's so. Melissa Barrera, dude, is just something else.
You think so?
I think so.
She's in Into the Heights or whatever.
Yeah, In the Heights, she's great.
In the Heights, yeah.
And it's not the best movie, but she does great.
Okay. I need to watch her and more stuff. I'm on Team Jenna as of right now.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Yeah, I loved that one scene where Gail Weathers shows up to do an interview. Everybody's super rude to her, right? Like in every single Scream movie ever. But she goes for the punch, Melissa, and she misses, and then Jenna just like comes out of nowhere. She's like from the bottom of the screen. She jumps and she's
so tiny.
lays one on her. That was so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, those two did incredible. I thought they also did a great job. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You know, you go ahead.
You go. Okay. I liked Jenna's romance with her friend. I forgot his name. One of the twins.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty
Mason Gooding. I don't know his character's name or whatever. You like that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a Scream movie. Like, it's not going to be a super well fleshed out romance, but I thought that was good.
Yeah, I bought it. I thought it was pretty good.
It was believable.
Mason Gooding's character was kind of annoying. We were saying in the theater or after the movie that it's kind of like a theater kid wrote a bully. How they think they would act, you know? So,
yeah.
I thought that was a pretty accurate description of how he's a little bit
you got it spot on.
sarcastic, over the top or whatever. And we'll get into what happens with him at the end of the movie. What we think about that. I had some thoughts. So, I mean, they did a great job of giving all these new characters depth.
Yeah.
They did a good job in Scream, the reboot, of introducing a new, mostly likable cast. And they're sticking with them in this, which, good job. They fleshed them out quite a bit.
One thing you and I talked about is one thing I didn't like about this movie. Well, again, going back to last year's movie.
Yeah.
They did this really kind of funny and informative scene, really self-aware and cool, where their friend, Mason's sister, I forgot her name. I think her last name's Savoy in real life.
It's Mindy. Her character's name is Mindy.
Mindy. So Mindy sits everybody down in the living room, and she's like, "Here are the rules of a Scream movie. Well, of a stab movie, because that's the Scream movies in universe, Here are the rules, and we're a franchise. We're part of a requel, And then she explains why it's not a sequel, why it's not a reboot, but it's a requel. It's really fun and like on the nose, and when they did it in this movie, it was a little less graceful because they did it again, and it was longer, and just was a little bit more over the top, and that's what I didn't like. Maybe it's because I watched the movie the day before, and so it seemed like, why are we getting this again? But maybe it would have been helpful a year later. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So they do that in every single Scream movie, all six of them. And sometimes it's more graceful, sometimes it's not as much. This actually wasn't the worst one, which is surprising. The worst one was in Scream 3, when there's a character, Jamie Kennedy. He was kind of the Mindy character who is the most meta and self-aware about the whole thing that's going on. And he explained in the first 2 movies, like the rules of Stab movie and then the rules of the sequel. And he dies in the second movie. And then in the third movie, he had recorded a tape of himself giving the rules to a trilogy. Somehow he predicted his own death, and he predicted that he wasn't. Well, he predicted that. So he predicted his own death, and he predicted that they would make it out of Scream 2, that whole ordeal. And then he predicted that it somehow would happen again for a third time, and that he would need to explain these rules to everybody in a tape.
I mean, honestly, for that character type, I feel like that tracks, you know, if they're the self-aware one and, you know, they're the meta character, of course they're going to know that there's going to be following movies.
Yeah. It was so out of place. And when I watched it, I was like, you're kidding me. So yeah, but she sits everybody down in that courtyard and she's so over the top. I don't know. Did they plan that out? She texts everybody to come to the courtyard so she can explain everything. It was supposed to be like spontaneous or whatever. It didn't come across like that as at all. So we had an issue with that.
Big issue.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first 2 acts I thought were great. The killings are really gory. I think they're gorier than ever. A lot of stab wounds. Yeah. Nobody ever just gets stabbed once. Now it's like you're getting stabbed at the minimum like 4 times.
That doesn't guarantee a death, you know, as we see.
It doesn't.
We'll talk about more later on, but you get stabbed 20 times by 2 people at once, and you're fine. They put an oxygen mask on you, and you live.
That's I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So let's just get into the end of it. So what really resonates with me after watching all of the Scream movies this week is how good was the motive, how surprising was the reveal, and that's pretty much it. So when you get into that final scene and you find out who the killer or killers are, they tend to get into a bit of overacting. They got to show just how crazy they are. And in this one, I think we got a severe case of overacting from the cop who, let me get their names right here. So it was Detective Bailey, Quinn, which is his daughter, and Ethan, who is like the quiet guy of the group, who's like kind of nerdy, but he ends up being the second child of Detective Bailey. And these guys are all just siblings of Richie, who is played by, what's his name? It's Huey.
Jack Quaid.
From the boys.
Yeah,
Jack
Huey
Quaid.
From the boys. Jack Quaid.
We love him. I thought that reveal was, yeah.
Yeah, you should definitely see Scream 5, Spencer. He's not the villain.
Yeah, maybe I will.
But he's in it.
He's in it.
I'll watch it.
You'll watch it.
Yeah. So they ended up being the killers. They're kind of just avenging Richie's death, which doesn't make sense. I mean, you just wrote these characters out of your ass, you know, and they just happen to be Richie's crazy, way more crazy than he was, like siblings who just don't care about the reason at all for his death and just want to just kill everybody. And I don't know. It's just, that's my least favorite motive that I've heard. Mm-hmm. Scream 2, they get Billy Loomis's mom, who Billy Loomis is the original killer, who was Sidney Prescott's boyfriend in the first movie. And he had a weird, messed up motive, but it was creative, you know? Yeah. And then the second one, his mom is one of the killers, and she's just trying to avenge him, not caring at all that he raped and murdered a bunch of people. So, so it just came off as it was lazy for me. I think it was just a lazy motive.
Well, and we talked about this too. To be fair to the writers, we're a bunch of 24-year-old idiots and we can sit here and pick it apart. But
we know.
Genuinely,
we know better than the writers.
We do know better.
Come on.
These fucking idiots, dude. No, but throughout the movie, you are like taken for a ride, You're always like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's this person that's the killer. And then they always, like, I'm genuinely surprised. Usually, there's always a lead up, right? But there are genuinely moments throughout the film where I'm like, I'm sure it's this person, and then it's not. So that's good writing in itself. But I totally agree. I think the previous villain was way better. His motives were way cooler. And we talked about like an alternate ending. We may want to wait a minute to get into that. But yeah, I didn't love the motive either. And the spoiler alert, the 3 killers. Yeah. I didn't love that either.
Yeah, first time they ever did 3 killers. Yeah. It's usually 2. They did 1 killer in Scream 3. And he was, we'll get into that, but that was my least favorite of the Scream movies. So, I mean, that's just, I couldn't give it like 4 stars. It felt like a 4-star movie the whole time. And then the end, it just kind of, it torpedoed,
Also, I was thinking of this too. So they lure them into like this shrine that they have, right?
Yeah.
And that's where the killers want to finally do it. They finally want to kill Billy Loomis's kid and, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But throughout the movie, they're like genuinely trying to kill her in other locations.
Yeah.
So that's what I didn't understand is like, why have this set piece, like this huge lair that you've built up and you are like fantasizing about killing them there?
Yeah.
But also have like several attempts on their life literally everywhere else in New York City. That was another thing I didn't love.
Well, that happens in every single movie.
Yeah, I guess. Like, yeah. I mean, maybe we're taking it too serious, but
no, I mean that's a good point. Also, how do they get in? If Hayden, the cop lady, if her character locked everything up, how did Detective Bailey get in? I don't understand that.
Yeah, because even right until the end, I thought it might have been her.
Yeah, and he called her from the police station, and then all of a sudden the 3 ghost faces are just in there.
Yeah Interesting.
So that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So,
but do you want to talk about what we would have changed?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go into something else first?
Let's see. Why don't you just get into that? What would you have changed about the movie?
Well, one thing we talked about is I think it would have been better to have the villains as somebody who had just, like somebody at least from the last movie, because all of these 3 new characters were brand new characters,
Yeah.
And even throughout the movie, they alluded to how it could have been one of the close friends that had just survived in Woodsboro and had just like snapped and had gone on this killing spree. Yeah. And so we thought, or at least I thought, it would have been better if it was the twins, because what's his name? Oh, gosh.
Mason Gooding.
Yeah, Chad Meeks Martin and Mindy Meeks Martin. Chad is like having this budding romance with Jenna Ortega's character, and it would have been cool for him to turn and try to kill her with his sister, because his sister like knows the playbook for how these things go down. Like she's got the insider information on how to execute these stab movies, So it would have been good for them to be a team of trying to kill. And it would have made sense if they had just gone through all that trauma, they snapped and wanted to kill these 2 that caused that.
Twins are creepy enough. I mean,
oh, dude, yeah. Could you imagine seeing them in real life? I've never even seen one. Oh, yeah, that's true. You've got twin brothers.
Yeah, if they're listening right now.
Gosh, so this really hits home for you.
Yeah, but
Jeez,
I'm
sorry.
like in The Shining, those twins are creepy.
Right.
In movies in general, twins don't have they have a bad rap, so could have played off well.
Yeah.
So if we were thinking of ideas for a sequel, I think definitely it should be one of the core four, as they call themselves. Could be Melissa Barrera's character.
Yeah, I mean, she did some really
kinda
questionable
set that
things
up.
there at the end.
Yeah, she literally stabs Detective Bailey too many times to count. But she
After donning the ghost mask.
yeah, so
and
she dons the
costume.
mask. Because she is famously Billy Loomis's daughter from an affair that, well, I guess it wasn't an affair. He wasn't ever, just as some lady. I don't know. Her mom had the affair with Billy Loomis. So that's what happened. So she like grabs his arm and she stabs him like all across everywhere. That was so, yeah, that was nuts. Never seen that before. So definitely pretty creepy. Even putting on, he was unconscious and she put on the mask. And didn't he have a gun? He was armed or something.
At that point, I don't know.
It wasn't a sure thing.
Yeah, he probably
was just going to kill him when he got up. So
right, and we were like, why didn't she kill him? I mean, in the real world, the cops are coming. I'm not putting on the ghost face mask and killing this guy, stabbing him like crazy. I might kill him in his while he's unconscious, you know.
And
that
she's
makes no
already
sense to me.
suspected of doing the first original murders.
It's an assumed thing that she is the killer, person of interest.
So not a smart move by her, but it worked out.
She's still hot.
Jenna liked it. Jenna gave her a little bit of a nod, like, go ahead, do your thing,
do it.
So
do it, yeah.
That was a pretty cute sister bonding moment.
Yeah.
This movie's all about sisterhood, pretty much. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part?
Yeah. You want some choices?
Yeah, give me some choices. Wait, so Spencer has to chime in too. You give us the choices, and then Spencer has to pick from this list too.
Okay. Yeah, Spencer, you just guess from the list.
If one of them is the recoil, I'm not picking it. Just let that be known. Okay.
You sure?
I'm not sure. Spit it out. Let's hear it.
Okay, so opening sequence, recoil included. We'll just include it. Okay. Because it is an integral part of
it's a necessary part,
movie
for sure.
You had to see that part to understand the whole thing.
And I mean, it sets the tone thematically for where the movie's going. Yeah.
Sets a lot of things up. So that scene, and then Tony Revolori, his scene with the ghost face, where he finds his friend in a certain part of the room. I won't spoil that for everybody.
Yeah.
Even though I spoiled all the killers or whatever.
Well, I mean, okay. Well, we need to establish, if you've listened to this point in the podcast, I think for future podcasts as well, we're going to talk about the ending.
Yeah.
Once we start talking about the movie, after we talk about, face value facts, we're going to talk about the ending. So anyway, go on.
This is more like you watch Scream, you want to hear three dudes just talk about it some more.
Yeah.
And maybe give you some facts, maybe some things you missed, some behind the scenes stuff, or, we have nice insights, I think.
We do. Yeah.
Okay, so that scene, the gas station scene where Ghostface gets a shotgun.
I know you've never been to New York City like I have. It's called a bodega. Okay. It's not a gas station. So go ahead though. Yeah.
Yeah. Why did I say gas station? Of course it wasn't a gas station. Bodega. It looked like a gas station. I just see stuff everywhere, and I'm like, oh, that's a Chevron or whatever.
Right.
It's a Maverick.
Understandable mistake. Okay, man. We're okay.
Yeah. And then Jenna's punch on Gail Weathers.
Yeah.
And when they're back at the apartment, and Ghostface shows up with a ladder and the hot guy, the hot guy from next door, and that whole aspect of it.
That guy did not like him.
Yeah.
Those are all the choices.
And then Gail Weathers in her interaction with Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final scene, which, I don't think it'll be any of our favorites. So yeah, why don't you pick from that?
The one where I laughed the most was the apartment hot guy ladder scene. I don't know, it's just so funny. Like, he's like, "Hey, I've got a ladder." He just kind of talks stupid. Like, there's no way he's American. I didn't really check that, but
yeah,
he talks
Are you just
weird.
mad that he was with Melissa Barrera?
Yeah, that's probably the entirety of my feelings towards him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. You're right. No, but he's like, "Hey, I've got a ladder," and he like sends it across, and it was just really funny watching them all.
There's
like,
a ladder in their bedroom door in their bedroom.
Yeah.
I just thought of that. I don't know. That's crazy.
Especially in New York City, like small apartments, you don't have that much space, and you're going to take it up with a big old extendable ladder. No, probably not.
That's crazy.
But that was really funny. I liked that scene a lot, and really gruesome too.
Oh yeah.
But I think my favorite was a combination of opening scene, recoil included.
Okay.
Just because it's in there. It's in there.
Thank you.
And what's Flash Thompson's name in this?
Jason. His name's Jason.
Jason. So I think that in combination with the next scene where Jason goes home and, gets terrorized by Ghostface himself, that was awesome. A great, almost perfect, first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. I think Tara's punch was my favorite, like, little mini moment.
Yeah.
But I think the ladder scene was so wonderfully done. I don't know. It was so gruesome, and then it goes on for like 15 minutes where they just can't get out of this apartment. And then they start getting on that ladder, and I'm like, somebody is not getting across this thing. And
that was one of the most gruesome deaths, dude.
Yeah, it was a tough
Mindy's
watch.
girlfriend.
Yeah, that was hard. And she was stabbed like so many times. There's no way she was getting across that thing.
Yeah.
And he grabs the ladder and he starts shaking it,
That was what was funny, dude.
Yeah, no, yeah, I thought that was great. And then also, just the opening scene, Samara. I was so happy to see her.
I
love the yellow dress. She's got her authentic Australian accent.
And beautiful.
She's a film teacher. I was like, wow, my ideal woman is on the screen right now. She's about to die, and it was heartbreaking.
You can say that.
You think so?
I think
Samara, if you're listening, she probably won't tune in for a while. Not till
not until episode 5 at least.
Not till at least episode 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved you in Ready or Not. It's an incredible film. So, yeah. And then Tony, I kind of just hate him just because of Spider-Man and all of that.
Yeah, that's understandable.
But then him just taking off the mask, walking back to his apartment. He talks to Tara on his way there. I had no idea what was going on. I thought
pretty cool.
The direction, just that decision to mix it up like that, I thought was a really good choice. So,
I really.
And so, what was your favorite part?
With the shotgun, I thought that really showed. Yeah, I was like, "Whoa, he's got a gun! This is crazy." And I also loved, dude, the opening scene, man. That recoil, it had me taken back.
Yeah, dude. Wow. So we're all in agreement. That's great.
That's awesome. I agree. That was the bodega was crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Least favorite part, I'd just say the end.
Yeah, it's just the end.
Didn't do it for me. Kind of ruined it.
Yeah, it really.
Spencer,
that's
you think
the part
so too?
that took me out was the end. It just didn't feel like.
Yeah.
Right.
Lost it.
Put you right out of the theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took you so out of it, you didn't even remember
you guys
it
had to tell
the
me
last
about it.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. We kind of got into our ideas for a sequel already.
Yeah.
So just make
That's
one
all I
of
had
four
on it.
killer. I don't know. Maybe Ghostface wins. Maybe Ghostface kills everybody. And
Yeah, like a
you just got to reboot
full
it
reboot.
again. Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
But these films are so fun, and this cast is so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I hope there's at least a few more movies in this, you know?
Yeah, I hope they keep it going. I think they're doing really well. So, all right. Why would this film get canceled today?
Recoil.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Recoil? Gun prohibition laws.
Let's see.
That's probably. This movie's very, very pro gun, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
And they had a beautiful biracial lesbian couple on screen, and they chose to end it by killing our girl.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty messed up.
she was Asian. She was Asian.
Yeah. Stop Asian hate. And they killed her off. Insane.
I know.
That's why I would cancel it.
Yeah, I think we might have to now that we.
If you're listening, don't go see this movie. Don't go see this movie.
Don't watch the ladder scene, at least. Stand up and verbally protest. Block the projector. That's what you got to do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pretend like she got out. She made it out, and then she just didn't show back up for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. That's what happened. All right. I'm going to rank the films real quick. Just 1 through 6. I'm going to go worst to best. Starting off with Scream 3. I think it was by far the worst one. There was one killer, and there was no way to suspect him of being the killer. Nothing to lead you to believe that it was him. So they just pulled it out of nothing. It was so stupid. And then I'd say after that, Scream 4, not a bad movie. We get now, from here on out, all these movies are great. Okay. I love them. But Scream 4, I mean, somebody had to be second to last. It was hard. Okay. Scream 4, new cast. I thought the motive was the most creative for the killer. I thought it was fantastic. And I would have, I wouldn't have suspected it at all if this movie didn't get spoiled to me by watching Scream 5 before Scream 4.
Uh-huh.
So I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. And then after that, I'd put Scream 6 right here. That was tough. It was between Scream 6 and Scream 5. I think just the ending and the motive of the killers, it's not going to sit well with me for the next, when I look back on these movies. But Scream 5 is the next one, and we got Richie. They introduced great characters. Sidney Prescott was still in it, and everybody did a good job, Yeah. And nothing to complain about with this one. After that, Scream 2, which I thought was fantastic. I loved it also. Almost as much as the original Scream. And I think that's tough to do with a sequel to a horror movie, is make it almost as good. Some people might think it's better. I don't think it is. But then Scream 1, that's the best one in my opinion. I thought it was great.
Okay.
So
good to know.
Yeah. Introduced everything.
Rating.
Wes Craven, did a great job. He directed the first 4 movies, and then he tragically passed away.
Was it Ghost Killer?
Rest in peace.
These 2
Ghostface got him.
could have been. That'd have been a good idea for a movie.
Would have been meta.
Who killed Wes Craven? It was Ghostface. All right, now I'll get into some facts about the production that I wanted to tell you guys. So, Neve Campbell is not in this movie due to her not being able to work out her contract negotiations with the studio. So Campbell confirmed.
What a shame.
Yeah, I know. She confirmed in a statement to Variety in June 2022 that she decided not to return to Sidney Prescott in the sixth Scream movie because of the low offer that she was presented from Paramount Pictures and Spyglass Media, the companies that produced Scream. The offer that was, she said, and I quote, "The offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise. Sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. As a woman, I've had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. I feel the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I brought to the franchise. It's been a very difficult decision to move on. To all my Scream fans, I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive of me. I'm forever grateful to you and to what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years." So, kind of wish she was
know
in
your worth. Know your worth, Queen.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta
She
say.
could actually be back if there was a Scream 7, which there probably will be. But
Good.
they've got to just pay the woman. So we'll see if that happens.
Well, it's a lot like what we talked about last week when these legacy sequels work out and their original character's not in it, but the movie's still good. It's like, how much leverage do they have after that?
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, she was missed in this. Like, there was a lot more attention on Gail Weathers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, how much more room is there for Sydney to come back?
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with Creed 3.
Yeah.
Film didn't really suffer at all without Rocky. I mean, it suffered a little bit with how good it was, but box office wise,
yeah, I mean,
which is
best
all the studio cares about. Why bring her back if this is going to be the highest grossing Scream movie?
Right.
So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully she comes back. I don't know. They reference her just in passing. They say she deserves a happy ending. They're not going to call her. She's with her husband, Mark. So yeah, we'll see. All right. Directors Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillette. They included a few stars from their previous movie, Ready or Not, in this film. Samara Weaving, who plays the film teacher. She also plays Grace, which is the film lead in Ready or Not. Have you guys seen that? I don't think you have.
No, I haven't.
I haven't, no. That's the one where
Yeah.
she's like at her in-laws, right? And there's a game night or something.
Yeah, it's like a game night or whatever, and they play hide and go seek. And if she gets hidden before midnight, or if she gets discovered before dawn, dusk or dawn, before morning.
Dawn is morning.
Okay, before dawn, then they have to kill her. And if they don't, then they all die. So pretty weird, but I loved it. It's a great Halloween movie. It's just fun. You can tune it in you can tune in like at any part of that movie and just have a great time. So I
it's
would.
got great ratings.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
And I also love Samara. So. And
she's gonna be great in Barbie. She's gonna be in Barbie, right?
She is?
Maybe not. That's
be.
fake news, maybe.
We're in Babylon, so
right. But
maybe.
Isn't there who's Margot's lookalike? I thought that was her.
In Babylon, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of Emma Mackey. Sorry.
That's
sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Oh, dude. It's all right. It happens.
Thanks for understanding, man.
And then also the therapist of Melissa Barrera's character. He plays the dad in Ready or Not, who's kind of the main antagonist of the film. So he's sticking with his people. I love that. I love that these directors did that.
Great.
Also, Jack Champion, who plays Ethan Bailey, one of the eventual killers, is in Avengers Endgame. Do you guys know who he plays?
Is he the grown-up kid from Iron Man 3? Is he the one at Tony's funeral?
No, he's the kid on the bike who scuffs off.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't have any lines. He just turns around and gives him a
he's
look.
grown up a lot.
I know, yeah.
He looked really familiar. I tried to look at what else he's been in, and I just assumed he was that kid, but that makes more sense.
He's in Avatar, Way of Water, as well. He plays Spider.
Oh, that's it then. Jeez.
Yeah. So, could be a nice future for this kid. Okay. Tony Revolori's character, the one who kills Samara, his name is Jason. And when we go back to his apartment, he was watching the horror film Jason Takes Manhattan, which this film is heavily inspired by. Yeah, so the Jason Takes Manhattan is obviously it takes place in New York, just like this film. And on the subway scene, I should have included that as one of the favorite scenes. I thought it was all right. It was whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
Some annoying characters on the subway. But there's a scene, and I sent you guys a clip. Do you guys you don't want to watch that scene for me? Maybe can we pull it up or something?
Yeah, you could share it. You could share it on.
Let me see if I can pull it up. All right, here it is. So Jason is on the subway, and he's just walking, but he's going after some kids. Watch this girl who gets in the way. Dude, she just gets rocked. That was so crazy.
Your humor, Jaren, is so funny. You sent that clip to us, and I was like, okay, what am I supposed to be getting from this?
He just gets rocked.
Dude, he just walking just normal pace, but she just flings right into the side of the... That must have hurt a little bit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Voorhees is a big dude, huh?
I know. I just thought that was funny. They should have done something like that in this movie.
A little homage.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Another fun fact. On the subway, it's Halloween. Some notable Halloween costumes. Grace from Ready or Not, I noticed that. Florence Pugh's the May Queen from Midsommar. Did you catch that
I
one?
noticed that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, me too. The Babadook, which is Tara's favorite
reference a
horror movie.
lot. Yeah.
Chucky and The Girl from the Ring, which that movie terrified me as a kid. I watched that movie at not like a house. It was my friend Kendall, his backyard. And it was nighttime. And after the movie ended, I lived 2 blocks away, and I called my mom to come pick me up because I didn't want to walk home by myself.
We've all been there, man.
I was that scared. So yeah. Okay, great. That's all I have. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on the movie?
I loved it. It was good.
No. I liked it. It was great.
Spencer?
Wish Spencer could have been there.
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next time, huh? Yeah, let's just do it.
I've got the info on 65 right here, just real quick. Do you?
Okay, just send it. Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well. Okay. So I just saw 65 a few hours ago before we recorded.
Dedicated. This guy's dedicated.
Yep. So let me I think we know what this is about. It's Adam Driver. He's fighting dinosaurs or whatever. It was directed by Scott Beck, Brian Woods. It's starring Adam Driver and Ariana Greenblatt. The reviews are sitting at 37% Rotten Tomatoes critic score and a 63% audience score. IMDb gave it a 5.7 out of 10, and IGN gave it a 6 out of 10. And on Letterboxd, it's sitting at 2.5 stars, and I gave it a 1 star. Yep. I thought it was horrible. I'll read you just quickly my review.
Oof, you gave it a long review here on Letterboxd.
Yeah. I already got 2 likes. One of the likes, I don't even know who it was.
I just sent you another one. Another like coming your way.
3 likes. That's crazy. That's my most liked review. Uh, so Adam Driver leaves his home planet to pilot an expedition for 2 years. No idea what the goal of the expedition was. So he can pay for treatment for his sick daughter. No idea what she has while he's away. He crash lands on an unknown planet. It's Earth, 65 million years ago. While everybody that was in cryogenic sleep on his aircraft dies, except for a little girl. No idea why she's on the expedition in the first place. Who can't speak English. No idea why the directors did that. They then have to travel across some distance to get to an escape pod so they can escape the planet before the meteor hits. And they realize the meteor is going to hit like the last 15 minutes of the movie, which is a couple hours in their time before they get off. And it was just so... You think Adam Driver, he's from the future. It's not that he... Oh, no, he's like... So they say right in the beginning that 65 million years ago, aliens or people just explored the heavens. And Adam Driver just lands on Earth. And so many little details were... It just made this movie irredeemable for me. The girl can't speak English, so there's no chemistry between them. And right now there's a big push. There's a big trend with male characters protecting a smaller female. Yeah. And you look at The Last of Us, who's just doing it a lot better. You look at Mandalorian, who's watching over Grogu, and I'm sure there's every other instances of it, but this is just, it just didn't work for me. I never believed their chemistry. You barely get to see his daughter in one scene, so you don't even know why he's doing it. You don't even know if she's alive. Yeah. And it's dark the most of the movie, and anytime he's fighting a dinosaur, it's dark and you can't even really see him. I don't even know what dinosaurs they were. I don't think they were T-Rexes because they had like normal arms. And he just got a gun. And the girl is so annoying. She learns... I'll tell you the words that she learned during this movie. So her name's Koa. The first word she learns is no. And then family. Water. Mountain. I'm tired. And shit. And those are the only words she says the whole movie. So, yeah, just, I don't know. I could go
you really need.
What?
I said that's all you really need, vocabulary-wise.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all we ever say,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's all Spencer's.
I'm tired. Oh, my gosh. My real beef with this movie's title, dude, is not to like get into specifics or
bad title
to nitpick. The Chicxulub meteor that we believe wiped out the dinosaurs did not hit 65 million years ago. It hit 66 million years ago.
Yeah.
So do your research, movie makers, for next time. Google search.
Yeah, that's what I saw that too. I didn't know if it was certain, but... And he lands on Earth like a few days before this meteor is supposed to land. I mean, the timing is incredible. So
movie worthy. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think the meteor was going to be a factor in it. Koa just looks up like halfway through the movie and there's like a red dot just coming towards him out of nowhere. And then Adam Driver, like an hour later, just sees the red dot too, and he like scans it. He's like, "Oh, this thing's gonna hit in like an hour, so we better get to the." It's not even like a race against time. The whole movie, he's like, "Oh shit, we gotta get to this escape pod," and then they fight a couple dinosaurs. She kills one with a stick. She's 4 feet
and a geyser.
Yeah, and a geyser. She killed it with the stick, and then the geyser kind of finished it off.
Right.
So that should just
As it
give
does.
you kind of a summary of what this movie's like. She's 4 feet tall. Dinosaur's about 40 feet tall. I looked it up. So
Well, that's a shame. I really want Adam Driver to be in better roles and to succeed.
Yeah.
So that sucks that he's in this crappy of a movie.
and I was
wanna see it now,
disappointed. I was disappointed because I was like, oh well, Adam Driver's a great leading man. He can just carry
Yeah.
this. I'll have a good time just watching him do his thing, shooting dinosaurs or whatever. But I didn't, I wanted to walk out like
You
3 or
could
4
do that to the
times,
fans.
but
That's right.
I'm a pro.
Stick it through.
No, there's no
We appreciate your dedication.
way in hell I was going to walk out of that theater. So, all right. But this movie is looking to be a big box office flop. It had a $91 million budget, and it got $12.3 million on its opening weekend.
I'm not
Yeah.
good at math, but
So,
that's not
don't think you're good at math. Come on.
Minecraft math.
Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Any closing thoughts for the pod?
No, thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. If you made it this far, we appreciate
We
the
just
heck out
love
of you
ya.
guys. You're our
We
first
love ya.
supporters. You're gonna just ride this with us. I think I said the same thing last pod, but
You sure did. You're going to
Stick
ride with
with
us to the
us.
top, everybody.
it's gonna be so
Please.
amazing. So next week we'll either get into a classic or see what else is in theaters. See what we can see.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for fixating on film with us. You fixator.